What up, world? It's Dana Harris, and I'm trying to make math cool again. We're talking about the law of sines in this particular video, and this is the second example about the law of sines. Now, in the first example, we showed you how to find a side length when we're working with the law of sines. In this particular example, we're going to talk about how to find an angle measure using the law of sines. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So we have this triangle, and once again, it's not drawn to scale. Okay, and so we have P, we have angle Q, and we have angle R. And we have, this is 16.1, this is 21, and then we have 26. Now remember, the law of sines tells us that the sine, in this case I'm going to use P, Q, and R. So the sine of P over P is equal to sine of Q over Q is equal to the sine of R over R. Now don't be confused. In the previous example I used sine of A, sine of B, and sine of C. But remember, it's based specifically on the angles that are labeled into the triangle. So it's perfectly fine, okay? The letters up top represent angle measure. The letters on the bottom represent side lengths, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we need to know the measure of this angle. So actually we have angle P is 88 degrees. And what we want to find out is we want to find the measure of angle R. Okay, so that M means the measure of angle R. That's what we're going to find. So we need to set up our proportion properly, and we're going to simply look at what we have compared to what we don't have. So we do have the angle here, so we can say the sine of 88, and we want to put that over the opposite side, okay? So the side directly across from angle P is side P. So that's 26, and that's equal to, we are looking for the measure of angle R, so we're looking for this angle. So let's put a question mark there, okay? So we have the sine of R over, and the opposite side to that is 21. Then remember, we need to cross multiply so that we can solve this proportion, okay? So we have this times this, and this times this. So we have 21 sine of 88 is equal to 26 sine R, okay? So we cross multiply. Now we need to get this R by itself, or actually in this case we're going to get the sine of R by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by 26, okay? So what we see is if we have 21 times the sine of 88 divided by 26, this is going to cancel, okay? So what we have is when I actually do this math, so the sine of R is actually equal to 8,072 10,000ths, okay? So then what we have to do now is we have to use the sine inverse, because this is the sine of R. We want to find the measure of angle R, so we have to use the sine inverse in our calculator. And it looks like this. I'm going to put this part on this side. So sine to the -1 power of R equals 0.8072. And so when we put in this into the calculator, we're going to get that R is equal to 53.8 degrees. Now that's to the nearest tenth, okay? So once again, remember, in this case, when we're finding an angle measure, we're going to actually get down to the sine of the angle, okay? And so I switch these sides. The sine inverse of R is equal to this particular number right here, and then that gives us that 53.8 degrees is the measure of angle R. So we can write it here. And that is how you find, use the law of sines to find an angle measure. Please check out our YouTube channel, Young Guru's Math Tutoring, YouTube/Young Math Guru. Also go to www.younggurusmathtutoring.com. Young Guru's Math Tutoring, I got the solution to your math problems.